We are going to visit every park in the state of Texas and take you guys along with us. So today I am here at Washington on the Brazos State Park, and I'm going to talk to you about our plans coming up for our channel and for our travels for 2019. We've been doing this channel for about 6 months. We've been filming for nearly a year, but we started this channel about 6 months ago, and it occurred to me that we've never really come out and discussed what the objective of the channel is, or the objective of our travels. And to put it bluntly, or just to put it out there, we are going to visit every park in the state of Texas and take you guys along with us. So what are we calling a state park? That's kind of the first question, right? We're defining a Texas state park as any location that has an entry in the official state park guidebook. On TPWG's website, the official count is 95. The number of entries in the most recent guidebook is somewhere over 100. So this leads us to question number 2, what qualifies as a visit? And that really depends from one park to the next. For some parks, it's like Fort LePontet Lawn is a prime example. 5 minutes was all it took for us to be able to put a pin in that park and call it done. Most of the time, it's 3 hours, roughly, give or take. Our quest was inspired partly by a gentleman named Dale Blasingame, who visited every park in the state of Texas in a year. I'm going to link to his story in the description box below. And if you're interested, he's also repeating this with a dog that he adopted. So it's a pretty cool story. You should definitely check it out. We started this quest January 1st, 2018. How far did we get? As of today, which is December 27th, 2018, we have visited 44 state parks. It's going to take us a bit longer to visit all of the state parks, so not quite as ambitious as Dale Blasingame. So why didn't we get farther? We asked that question a lot. We ran into quite a few challenges along the way. So what were those challenges? Our first challenge was weather. For a while there, it seemed like every weekend that we were planning to go visit a state park, it would start dumping down rain in that area. The other thing is that we both work full-time, 40-hour-a-week jobs. Well, 40-plus-hour-a-week jobs. Mine's like a minimum of 45, and Dean's is about 40. And they are location dependent, so it's not like we can just pack up a computer and do our jobs on the road because of the nature of the jobs. We also have a house that we need to keep up with and a yard that we need to keep mowed and trimmed and all that. Probably within the next 5 years we'll go full-time in an RV. Geography was also a challenge. Texas is huge, and some of those parks in, say, the Panhandle or far west Texas require a lot of planning to get to. What all have we learned about Texas as a result of our travels just in 2018? We learned quite a lot about Texas itself. I grew up here. I've lived here pretty much my whole life, and I learned just how big and varied the state is. Academically, I knew that, but to actually see it and internalize it is something completely different. We also learned that if we keep saying just a little bit further, we're going to see something new, awesome, something really cool. And just the other thing that we learned is to just roll with it. When we were planning way too strictly. Like, if we didn't get to that park on that weekend, we were going to have to bump that park all the way down to the end of the line. When you're traveling, especially with an RV, nothing goes the way you thought it was going to go. What's the saying? The battle plan only survives the first encounter with the opposition. Something's going to break. Something is just not going to go the way you planned, and we had to learn how to roll with it and still have a good time. We also, we already knew that life was about experiences and memories and not stuff, but this really helped us to internalize that. As a vlogger, I learned how to get more comfortable talking to a camera lens. Luckily, there's nobody here right now to look at me funny. That was a big hurdle that I had to get over, which is why in my more recent videos, I'm more likely to talk to the camera. There's still going to be some coming out where I don't say a thing to the camera. Those are some of our older videos. Hope you still like them. I also learned a lot about what to film and what not to worry about. Some of our older videos, we've got 30 minutes of driving footage when we really only need about 10 seconds. Our newer videos, we have maybe 5 minutes of driving footage. So what do we have coming up in 2019? More state parks. Obviously, we still have a lot to go. We only got to 44 this year. So we've got a lot more state parks to visit next year. Some are going to be big trips. Some are going to be small trips. We are still going to be focusing on state parks. We're also going to visit cities more. So if we decide we can't get to a state park that day, we may take a jaunt over to a town in Texas and wander around Main Street and take you guys with us. Look to see more like our visit into Goliad. We're also going to visit some national parks as well and start throwing those into the mix. I know Big Bend is on our list for this year, so crossing our fingers and hoping that that's going to go through. As I mentioned, the weather is a challenge, so trying to plan out, say, even a month's worth of trips to state parks just wasn't doable, because we would try to schedule at least a weekend at home so that we could take care of mowing the yard and taking care of things that need to be taken care of around the house. And the weather just would not cooperate with us. And what would end up having to give is the trip to the state park, because you can't just not maintain your house. Coming up this year, we know kind of when we're going to go visit different places. We've got, we changed how we plan it and just decided, say, in January we're going to go visit Big Bend. That's not true, but say January we're going to go visit Big Bend National Park, and we don't necessarily know when, but at some point in January we're going to go do that, and then line up a couple of other places to go visit, and say first weekend that we can get there, that's what we're going to go do. We do have a couple of big trips planned, and obviously Big Bend would be a big trip if you're living in Houston and trying to make that drive. We also have some new gear. This is being filmed on a DSLR as opposed to my cell phone, which is what all of our first videos were filmed on. And we upgraded the microphone and hopefully the music. Hopefully the music will be a little more appealing. Final question. What was our favorite state park? Can't really say. Obviously, we haven't visited them all, so there are more to come, and it will probably change. But the video on that, my personal favorite that we visited last year, hasn't been released. And after I talked to Dean, it turns out that, yes, that was also his personal favorite. And that video will be coming out shortly, but it's not out yet. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That way, when our first video about our trip out to West Texas comes up next week, you'll get the notification. See ya.